absolutely. Let's talk about the political context for community independence. And I want to start with you, Phil, because you've had you were part of the driving force, but also you've benefited from the experience of living in a seat that's been held by an independent. So, love it if you give people a sense of, for the community itself, what difference does it make to have a community independent as your representative?
And thanks again, Indi. So just before I answer that, I should also say another very similar thing between Indi and Lyne is that Indi was a seat set up in 1901, so a federation seat, and for the whole period from 1901 until 2013, it had been held by the Conservative parties, Liberal Party, and previous iterations of that Liberal Party, Conservative parties back in the 30s and 40s, except for one period when the sitting Liberal member forgot to get his nomination in time, and he couldn't run. So, couldn't contest, and Labor won the seat that one election and lost it next election. So we are often classed as being a Conservative seat. I think what that means though is that because it is such a relational thing that people connect back many generations, often they haven't had much choice. The choice has often been between Liberal or National Party if there's no sitting Liberal member. Labor doesn't really try very hard. Maybe the Greens in recent times, and that's about it. And perhaps Haines and others. But there hasn't been much choice. So people tend to stick with what they've known. They might not always like it, but they're familiar with it, so they stick with it. So until you have a choice, and a real choice, people aren't really sure what to do. Then they can think about something else. So to come back to what the difference that we've seen, so Cathy McGowan was 6 years as our MP. Helen Haines is my wife, has been there for 5 years. Helen says, every day that I get out of bed, I know who my bosses are. And my bosses are the people of Indi. If you are part of a party, and this is not to criticise the parties too much, but they are often directed by the senior hierarchy in the party, and they're influenced, and more influenced by donors and particular interest groups about what they want to see happen to benefit them. Helen has none of that. She responds to the needs and the demands and the vision, if you like, of the people of Indi. So a constant part of her job is to connect with people. We have this volunteer program in Canberra. Every time Parliament sits, we bring 3 or 4 volunteers from Indi who come and work in Helen's office. And they get a deep dive into seeing how their politician works in Canberra, and they actually participate and get stuff done for Helen. Things that have changed. So, mobile phone connection. I was talking to Hamish beforehand about his very poor mobile phone connection at his farm. Indi has been very similar. So in Cathy's first term, she set up an advisory group across Indi of local people to advise her about where mobile phone coverage was poorest. She formed that group, and then she got them to work with her and also the local government to put forward business cases to the government. So when the government ran this series of programs to fund black spots across the country, Indi, through the work of many volunteers and community members, put forward fantastic business cases. And the first round, Malcolm Turnbull was the communications minister. And after Indi got 40% of all new mobile phones across Victoria, Cathy said to Malcolm, "Thank you very much, Minister, for a great response." And he said, "Cathy, don't thank me. You made my job easy because you presented well thought out, well argued business cases to benefit your community. It made it easy to back your projects." There's the power of a community member who works with their community, doesn't work for the party or through the party, but works directly back to their community to put forward the best types of projects which will benefit the community. Another quick example, renewable energy. Now, it certainly is a confronting thing for many people to see big solar arrays go up and wind turbines, but we need to be transitioning to a cleaner future without a doubt. So Helen developed with her staff a local action plan for renewable energy to try and get the benefits, not just to the farm where those things are located, but broader across the community. Indi has 13 community renewable energy groups who put forward projects. She helps them get those through government, and some of those are funded. And she's trying to work out different policies to get things like batteries, which is often a limitation, to help fund batteries, to get people to be able to afford to buy batteries to get renewable energy into their place and to use the benefit themselves. So things like that. So again, it's the connection between what she does and the community, which has been the biggest change. And they see her around all the time. She, in between sitting weeks, she will go with her orange caravan across Indi, meet different community groups, etc., etc. So that's part of the job.
Amazing.
Yeah.